conformity. I'm Morgan.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Jacqueline.
I'm Shannon.
And for this field day, we decided to study the psychological principle of conformity, which is one of the 3 major social influences. And in order to do so, we went out into the Alliance community and targeted random people, and we asked them if they would mind doing a video interview with us. So we asked the people ridiculous, made-up questions, and we wanted to see if they would conform or if they would not conform. So if they pretended like they knew what we were talking about, even though they may have doubted it and they went along with it, that was conformity. But if they were honest with us and they told us, I have no idea what you're talking about, then that was non-conformity. So overall, we thought that our field day was successful because we did end up getting people to conform with our questions, and we also had some good examples of non-conformity as well. So in order to understand our field day, you first have to understand what conformity is. And it's a social influence that deals with how easy it is for an individual to change their thoughts and beliefs in order to adhere to what a group thinks. And conformity deals largely with the power of the situation, which basically just means you don't know how you would react in a situation unless you are actually placed into that situation. So for example, when some of you watch our video clips, you might think, oh, I would never say that, or oh, I would definitely recognize that that question is really stupid and made up. However, you don't know that because you're not in the situation. Certain situations can induce different amounts of stress or pressure to conform, and that's basically just what the power of the situation is saying. The ASH study was a study done on conformity, and it showed that 3 or more people saying or feeling a certain thing or opinion on a certain topic is a strong enough influence to get another individual with different beliefs to conform their thoughts and feelings and beliefs as well. And it's shown that 40% of individuals will conform under those types of circumstances. There are 2 main reasons why people would conform. The first being that they don't want to make waves, and the second reason being that they begin to question their own minds. So imagine being in a large group of people where everyone is feeling or thinking, or they share the same opinions on a specific topic, and you're the only individual who disagrees with their beliefs or feelings. That's going to make you start to question the validity of your reasoning, so you're probably going to end up conforming your thoughts to match theirs because you think maybe there's something wrong with you. And that concludes about everything you need to know about conformity.
Our hypothesis was instead of letting someone know they're unfamiliar with a topic, the majority of people will conform to thoughts and ideas to keep them from standing out or sounding uneducated on the topic. So we found some Jimmy Kimmel interviews, and we thought it was a really great idea to go out into Alliance and ask these people some ridiculous, completely false questions that just did not make sense. Our place of choice was Walmart because we knew we could get people there. And we went in and we walked around. We looked for people they didn't seem like they were in a hurry. And we told them we were a senior research group for Mount Union, and we needed to ask them a question that would be shown in front of a group for the Mount Union Board of Senior Research. Something ridiculous. And we even had waivers to have them signed. Some of them we just interviewed and wrote it down, and others we recorded them. And then afterwards, we took the videos and we compared them to Jimmy Kimmel's, and we based our results off of the 2 differences and similarities. So, pull up our video.
to appoint her to the Supreme Court? What's your opinion?
I don't know.
Do you think she'll do a good job?
I think she's more of an entertainer. I mean, like, she's a judge, but I think she's more of an entertainer. And I think she's really entertaining to watch her.
So do you think that this is more of a publicity stunt to popularize the month?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Do you think she would be able to learn the position and then work well with Diane Jones, who's another Supreme Court official?
I think she probably could do anything to get appointed, but I don't think she can really stay.
Okay.
Hi, tell me your name and where you're from.
Ryan Black from Michigan.
What do you think about President Obama's decision to appoint Judge Judy Scheinman to the U.S. Supreme Court?
Well, it's controversial, and he's granted that power as the President of the United States, so we just got to do the best that we can with what we have.
And what do you think about Obama's appointment today of Judge Judy Scheinman to the U.S. Supreme Court?
I think it's a publicity stunt, but I'm not sure why, because he's already got the approval ratings he needs, and he's not up for re-election ever again.
I agree. I just think it's a publicity stunt. I'm not sure that she's fit for that type of a job. She knows TV. That's about it.
What do you think about Obama's decision to appoint Judge Judy Scheinman to the U.S. Supreme Court?
See, Judge Judy, she a gangster.
Do you think she's going to make an adequate replacement for departing Judge Bruno Tonioni?
I don't know if adequate is the word, but I can understand why he would make that decision or why he would go that way.
And how do you think Judge Judy will get along with current Supreme Court Justice Carrie Alba? Do you think their different policies on samba, tango, etc. will cause a clash between them on the bench?
I'm sure, but I would hope that they could act civilly and have good communication and find a middle ground. I mean, it's not about their personal opinions, it's about what, they're representing us. So they need to work for us.
It's also not necessarily about how good the person's dancing, it's really about their attitude and their flair and how much they've improved over their last week's score.
Right.
Who is your favorite Supreme Court justice?
That one guy that's like really old.
Judge Reinhold?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what about her statement that she plans to overturn the landmark case Kramer versus Kramer?
They've been doing that for years. That's just cover up. Just listen to it. Listen to how it sounds. Look how you worded it, right?
Kramer versus Kramer.
Right. That sounds wow. Kramer. That sounds like a cover up. Like, what are you?
Okay, to summarize the videos that you just saw, we attempted at Walmart to interview 7 people within a variety of ages. We were rejected once, and so we were successful the remaining 6 times. 5 were filmed and 1 was not filmed. Our idea behind not filming all of them was we thought there may be a difference in the person's confidence in answering if they were not on film, knowing that they may not be shown to the board or whatever we said that we were going to show them to. Okay, the first participant we asked was an elder lady who was shopping with her husband. Her husband had agreed to participate originally until we asked permission to videotape, and at that point he bailed. The lady, however, continued to participate. We didn't use her clip in here because it was really hard to hear what she was saying. So just to fill in what we asked her, the first question we asked her was in regards to politics, and she said that she was not educated enough to answer properly. So Jacqueline then asked her the question, how do you feel about Justin Bieber peeing on the American flag? And her response summed up basically was that she thought it was a disgrace. She said that she has 2 relatives in the military, so she thought it was very rude and disrespectful to America. To briefly explain the videos that you saw that we put on there from Walmart, the 2 women who were asked about Judge Judy, they had absolutely no doubt in giving their responses, and they were openly to believe that our question was true. The 2 college-age guys questioned what we were saying. However, they continued to go along with our questions, and once we were nearing the end of the video, they actually said something along the lines of that if this wasn't a school project, they thought that we were joking. So we thought that was interesting because they obviously showed conformity, but yet they still believed what we were saying was true. Lastly, we interviewed a girl in which we did not film and asked her how she felt about Justin Bieber putting tires on his car that were made out of baby seals. She proceeded to tell us that she loved animals, and so it was pretty disturbing to her to hear what we had to say about Justin Bieber. She also mentioned that she didn't know tires could be made out of baby seals, so that showed that but she still went along with it and thought that it was true. Just a side note, I had known who she was because I went to high school with her, so I knew that she was shy. So even though we didn't film her, she still was really nervous. We actually interviewed her by this bin of like diapers in the middle of an aisle, and all she did was like throw the diapers up in the air every time we were asking her a question. So she was obviously really nervous, even though we weren't filming her. So I don't know what she would have done if we would have filmed her. Now in comparing our Walmart study to the clips you saw on Jimmy Kimmel, Kimmel's participants displayed a lot more certainty and passion in the responses they gave, which can be attributable to the fact that most of them were banking on the fact that it was probably going to be on national television. Our participants, on the other hand, had no pressure to conform to our questions, and we feel as though the main reason attributable to the people conforming in our study was that there are 4 of us approaching them, we thought that if only one of us would have approached them, they may have been less likely to agree to do our study.
Some of the things we had learned from our experience was what affected the conformity. The interviewer was one of the things that was affected by it compared to like 4 college students or the Jimmy Kimmel show. The audience was another thing that affected it. There was only 4 of us, whereas if somebody was being filmed by the Jimmy Kimmel show where there's millions of people watching, and the location where we were located versus where Jimmy Kimmel was located. We weren't prepared or suspected that our findings and experience would be different than the things that happened on the Jimmy Kimmel show. We expected people to be more bold with their answers, and we were hoping that the participants would be as strong with their answers and not hold back as much, just like the participants on the Jimmy Kimmel show. We did expect the participants wouldn't conform to 4 college students as much as they would the interviewers on the Jimmy Kimmel show. And there are more examples of conformity than just interviewing. You can conform to your parents, friends, and people around you every day. You may agree to things or do things that you wouldn't normally do if you were by yourself when you're with your friends or peers. In conclusion, conformity is more common than we think, and it happens every day and in many different